All right, it looks like we are ready to go. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Financial Freedom System podcast, where I help you upgrade your mindset, money, and more so you can live a life full of financial freedom and purpose. My name is Matt, if you don't know, and what I'm doing today is obviously a little bit different. I'm going to basically call this episode a Financial Freedom Freestyle, and no, I'm not going to be rapping as much as I love rap. That's just not my thing. So at least to do it publicly, because I think we all kind of break down some bars on our own. But anyway, we're going to jump into this today where I share my thoughts, I share my feelings, I share some of the challenges, and hopefully encourage you as well to really kind of look at some of these answers in your own life if you're on the path to creating financial freedom. And I wanted to do a video, but you might be hearing me through the audio as well, just to try something different as I'm away for a couple days. I've got a big project that I've been working on. And with this big project, it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, over a year, in fact, but I just haven't been able to carve out the time to I started it. I've created the outline. I kind of know the project details and I've done a little bit of work with that, but I actually haven't started taking action. And that's essentially why I'm here. I wanted to immerse myself fully in this project over the next 3 days, where I don't have any distractions, where I am totally inspired by the view that's behind me, right on the edge, like 25 feet from the Atlantic Ocean. And I'm really grateful that I've had the opportunity to be here and use it as a time of inspiration where I can really focus on making the quality of this project top notch. So I'm excited to reveal to you what that is eventually, just not right now. But with this episode, I want to jump into the ideas and some of the feelings, the realizations that I've had about financial freedom. And the very first thing maybe I want to start out with is just talking about the fact that, like the project that I've had planned out and had good intentions on getting started on for over a year, right? It hadn't started. And that ultimately comes down to me. I have to hold myself accountable and say like, hey, I just didn't carve out the time to do this. And this is something that typically I like taking action on things, and it's a project I do 100% believe in and I'm fully behind, right? But on my priority list, there were a lot of other things. And I think when it comes to financial freedom, if you think the idea sounds great, and if you think that it is something that you want to create in your life, right? What is stopping you? For me, I look at this project and it wasn't carving out the time, having a dedicated time and a space to do this maybe every Saturday morning, let's say between the hours of 8 and 10, I was going to get up and work on this project, right? That would be 52 Saturdays. I'd be 52 Saturdays ahead. I'd be over 100 hours ahead as well on this project if I had been specific about when I'm going to take action on completing it. Right? And financial freedom is the same thing. You might watch these videos on my channel or a million other channels that are out there. You might say, hey, that is something that I want to do, or that is something that I want to create in my life, right? But why are you not taking action? And I think that's the biggest thing there. Fear paralyzes people, whether it's you're afraid of something. You're afraid what your friends are going to say, what your family is going to say, what your coworkers are going to say. Maybe you are like, hey, I think this is actually something that I would like to do. I just don't know how, right? That's a barrier for people as well. And I'm going to start out. You're watching this on YouTube or you're listening to a podcast. Consuming free content is one of the best ways to get started. And I say that because that's how I learned. That is how I learned so many of the principles that I use today. I got it all for free thanks to the internet. And I can't imagine living in a time and a space where the internet is not our go-to for legitimately everything, right? For so many things, at least, where is the first place we turn? It's the internet. When it comes to creating a business, that's the exact same place we go, right? You search up on YouTube, what are the best ways to make money? You go into Google and you say, how can I make money fast, right? I don't know what you search, but that is where you start. And when it comes to financial freedom, right, that is where I started. And that is where I consumed videos, where I consumed podcasts, where I said, hey, what are the books that I need to read so that I can look to create and I can learn how to create, more importantly, financial freedom in my life, in my family's lives, in my friends' lives, in our community that we've created here on YouTube, right? But also, that learning stage isn't the place where it stops. And I think that's the big realization and the message that I want to encourage you with right away. That learning place can't be where it stops, because I am someone who wants to learn. Self-improvement is one of the values that I have. I've got 5 core values in my life: faith, relationships, health, self-improvement, and then freedom. Those are the things that matter most to me. So I know as good as anybody else that I can be stuck in this world of, oh, I always want to continue learning. I want to continue learning how to make more money. I want to continue learning how to make an online business. I want to continue learning how to write a book. I want to continue learning whatever it is in your life, right? I can just be stuck in this continuous learning cycle, which is really good. It's always good to learn new things, but it doesn't matter if I'm not taking action on the things that I'm learning. And that's one of the biggest kind of realizations I've had over the past couple months, let's say. I put a lot of time and energy into making the content that I make for this channel, and I really enjoy that. I really enjoy the fun aspect of it being completely new to me. And when I first started doing this stuff, I had no clue how to edit a video, how to film a video, how to connect and tell stories through the camera. And I'm still learning a lot when it comes to that. But more importantly is I did not let that kind of analysis paralysis kind of section me off from starting. Right? And I said, I do not know how to do this. I do not know how to start a YouTube channel. Great. I'm just going to start, and I'm going to figure it out as I go. And I think that that is a huge lesson that I have for people when it comes to creating financial freedom in their life, right? If you're out there wanting to create financial freedom, if you're out there wanting to be better with your money, you want to upgrade your money mindset, and whatever reasons you have for that, I'm sure they're legitimate, right? But you don't have to have it all figured out to start. And that's my message for you today, to just get started. Figure one thing out, right? There might be 100 things that you've got to figure out to finally take you from your journey of where you currently are to where you want to be. But unless you start, you're not going to begin figuring it out. So figure one thing out and then go to the second thing. Once you figure that out, go to the third thing and just take it step by step, because over a long period of time, the growth that you're going to have in this regard is going to be tremendous. And it's going to be almost overwhelming when you get to that point, step 100, and you look back at where you came from. And for me, in my journey, in the vision that I have, I mean, I would say currently I'm at step like 20 of 100. And I've been doing this for a few years now, right? I've really upgraded my mindset. I've really upgraded my money and the relationship that I have with it. And I've also understood how I use it to live out my values. And I use money as a tool, right? But now I am maybe not even step 20 of 100, but I'm going to say that I'm 1/5 of the way through creating the life that I've had and that I want to create, right? You need to make a powerful vision about your money, about financial freedom. And that really kind of brings me to the framework that I use to develop this. This is something I came up with on my own, but it's something that I also use and share with people because I know it really helps. And that's the 3 V's of financial freedom. The 3 V's that I use are values, vision, and then the vehicle. So with these 3 V's, the values, you need to get clear on what your values are that you live by, or more importantly, that you want to live by. So your values are the things that matter the most to you. Your values are the things that you want to say yes to every single time they come up again and again, or something comes up, you get invited to go hang out with a friend. Is that within your values? If it is, you say yes and you enjoy that experience. But you also want to say no to the things that aren't aligned with your values, because that might actually be more important to living a happy and a fulfilled life. So those are your values. There's ways to do that. We can talk about that in another video, but it's important that you understand and speak to the couple things that matter most to you in your life. The second thing there is the vision. Now, the vision is essentially the life that you want to live, the life that you want to create. And that works in a whole different aspect of areas, right? When it comes to your money, when it comes to building wealth, when it comes to creating financial freedom, what do you want to create? You want to think about your wealth. You want to think about your health, right? How is living a healthy lifestyle, and how can you prioritize your health, and what does that look like for you? Because for me, it looks like going and swimming and biking and running and being out in nature and experiencing those things with time and people that I love, right? That is what it means for me. And I know that would torture a lot of other people out there, right? So what does your health look like? Relationships as well. It's obviously an important one. I want you to think about spiritual, and I want you to think about the personal areas of your life as well, and create a vision around those 5 areas. And it's something that you could add more areas to if there's things that matter a lot to you and maybe this list of 5 things doesn't encompass. But I do think it's really important for you to create a vision out there. And I'm going to emphasize you creating the vision as my Bluetooth speaker goes off in the background. Emphasize you creating that vision. It's not something that your family creates for you. It's not something that your friends create or your coworkers. It's not something that people in your life really get a chance to speak to unless they're doing so in a positive manner, right? In a positive way. If you can see that they're building you up, if they're edifying you and they're contributing to that vision, go for it. All the power to them and all the power to you, allowing them to be a part of your vision. That's if you're an individual. If you're a part of a team, you can do this as a group. Or if you're a part of a business, you can sit down and really get clear on what your business vision is as well. But it's something that you need to create. And I think you need to write it down. You need to write it down because something deeper happens when you actually write down your goals. There's a lot of research out there that shows that you're way more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down. Something like 42%, I know a study was done in the States that really kind of contributed that data to saying you're 42% more likely to achieve a goal when you write it down compared to people that just think about it in their head and say, oh, this would be a nice goal. So that's one of the things that matters. But I also think it matters that you write it down so that you can see it. So you can see your vision and that you can continuously revisit that vision as well. And for me, I've got a notification that goes off in my calendar at the start of every month, and it says, reread your vision. Right? And for me, that just primes my mind. It gets me focused on what I want to accomplish. And it also has me setting goals and revisiting those goals regularly. So I keep the main things in my life. And vision is something that is incredibly powerful, especially if you're in a challenging environment, when everything around you might seem to be hard or not going the way you want it to. It can be really easy to give up, but your vision and understanding that and really reframing it and knowing it so well that it starts to become your reality is a powerful opportunity for you. So I'm going to encourage you to look at that V as well. So values, vision, and then the third V here is the vehicle. And a vehicle essentially is something that takes you from where you are to where you want to be, from point A to point B. And once you know your values, once you've really gotten clear on what your vision is, right? The vehicle is the thing that makes your vision come true. The vehicle is the thing that makes that vision come true, which essentially magnifies your values so you're living a happier and a more fulfilling life. And I think it's incredibly powerful to understand how this can happen. And there's many different ways, I should say, of what that vehicle can look like. And so for me, I gave you my values before, right? A vehicle for me could be my online business, right? That ties into all of the different values that I have, because with an online business, I'm able to really focus in and make sure that I have time to spend with my family because I have passive income streams. Now I can make money while I'm sleeping. I can make money once I upload this video or other content that I make. I can make money as a result of that living on forever, right? And I'm not continuously having to go out there and put the work in necessarily. I can create new content, which can generate new income streams, etc. So for me, when I made the decision to start an online business, it was a decision that emphasized the values or promoted the values that I had of family, right? The second value I have is faith. That's an important one to me as well. The business that I have is definitely aligned with the values that I live by. More importantly, that I would hope you listening and consuming this content shows in some ways that faith matters to me, and what I do, the purpose that I have with my life, is a result of my faith. Relationships is another one. With my relationships, I would hope that the business that I created allows me to be more present, allows me to have more time freedom, and allows me to have money so that I can invest in the relationships, right? And I can go through all of those different values that I have, but those are just kind of 3 of them where I've given you examples of the decisions that I'm making, the vehicles that I'm using, how they impact my vision, number 1, coming true, and number 2, my values being promoted. And when you can live within your values and you're working towards your vision, I think that's incredibly exciting for me to see what you're going to accomplish. And that's essentially what I'm about here on this channel, the financial freedom system. The system is where everything works together to helping you achieve financial freedom. And I think that I approach it in a different way than a lot of personal finance people do, because I think that budgets might work for a lot of people. And in some ways, there are ways I have created and used budgets myself. But at the same time, there's a deeper meaning to what we do with our money and why we do those things with our money. But that, again, is for another episode. But those are the 3 V's: values, vision, and vehicle that are really important to you achieving financial freedom. I've been using them in my own life, and it's something that if you've got questions about, I'd love to expand on that many, many, many ways. So please go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. And after we talked about kind of just taking action on financial freedom, and then how you take action is getting clear on those 3 V's, I think that the ending piece is really kind of where I'm at right now. I am someone who's done this for a couple of years now. I've seen tremendous gains and tremendous just growth in my life in all the different areas, just not even looking at money, right? That's not what it's about for me. It's about living a life of purpose. And for me, I've been able to kind of sit back and look at the work that I've put in, the steps that I have improved on, and kind of the growth that I've had over the past few years. And I've, to be honest, had some questions about that. I've had some questions about, hey, this isn't happening maybe as fast as I would like it to, right? Ideally, I would take my 10-year vision that I've created and I would want to achieve that in a year or 2, right? But that's not how it works. Often people really overestimate what they can do in a short amount of time. In a year or 2, they think they can do way more things than is actually possible. But when it comes to a long term, they underestimate that. And that's kind of the message that I want to encourage you with today. And it's the fact that I've always been in this for the long term. Financial freedom and creating financial freedom is a really simple math equation. So don't complicate it. When you're looking at it, that simple math equation is your net worth or your financial freedom or your wealth is going to increase as your assets increase and your liabilities decrease. Your assets are things that give you money, that put money in your pocket, that generate wealth for you. And your liabilities are things that do the exact opposite of that, where they take money out of your pocket. They cost you a lot of money every single month or every single year. And they're just taking from you. And this equation is really quite simple. You need to build up, you need to grow your assets, and you need to diminish, you need to knock down, you need to eliminate, if at all possible, as fast as possible, your liabilities, as long as you're doing that in obviously a healthy way. So assets minus liabilities, that's going to equal your net worth. That's going to equal your financial freedom. And the more you can stack assets, it's going to help you get there even faster. And so I kind of found myself in this place saying where I've done this for a few years now, it's happening and I see the results of it, but it's not happening as fast as maybe I would want it to. And I think the conclusion that I've come to is I'm not comparing myself to anybody, right? I need to sit back and I need to say that this stuff is happening. I am way better off than where I came from. Not that I ever had like a bad relationship with money, not that I ever went without anything, but now I can say that I'm much more purposeful with how I use my money. I can speak exactly to how it helps me live a life of purpose and how it helps me live within my values, right? And obviously, I've got more of it around too as a result of that. And there's so many other ways that I could kind of share with you through individual stories, how my relationship with money has changed and really kind of how that's changed every area of my life. And I'm so grateful that I've learned that lesson. But for me as well, I just want to make sure that you understand that you're not comparing yourself to anybody. Right? You're not comparing yourself to me. You're not comparing yourself to the celebrities that you're following on social media. You're not comparing yourself to your family, and you're not comparing yourself to someone who maybe hasn't started this journey yet, right? You're where you're at for a reason. You're taking steps and taking action on creating your vision and not somebody else's. So I think that it's really important to just kind of have this reminder. I think that it's really important to stop, kind of take inventory of where you've come, of how your relationship with money has gotten better, and continue going back to your vision, going back to your values, and going back to the vehicle and saying, I'm on this path to create financial freedom and I'm achieving it. I'm doing it. It's something that I think really will make a difference for you if you revisit that time and time again. If things get challenging, it's there when you need it. If things are good, it's there to keep you on track and keep focused and not get distracted, right? So I really hope that this podcast was a little bit different, but that you enjoyed it. I hope that I can share through being vulnerable with you some of the things that I've learned in my life that have got me to this place. And that's the whole goal of this channel. That's the whole goal of what I do at the Financial Freedom System, as someone who wants to document and share the things that I've learned about how I am being better with my money, how I am being more purposeful, and ultimately how I'm creating a life of financial freedom and how you can do it too, because that's what we're about. So I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. And if you've got any questions, please go ahead and let me know down in the comments below.